Salam, shalom, hotep. How y'all doing? Ooh, I gotta get in here and work these roots. They still playing this old typical game, and we're acting like it's brand new. I love it when we act like things that America does is brand new. America ain't got a new thought in her. And why? She didn't have to. A little better. Peace and blessings. The Shabazes are in the house. The Wolf Pack is in here. Miss Jasmine, Salam, Shalom, Hotep. How is everybody? Let me see if I can keep up with y'all. DJ Genius is in the house. Brandy, it's good to see you. How you doing, Miss Boyd? Ooh, 7. Ready? Here we go. Y'all. And don't get me wrong. Parading, screaming children across the TV will always get you ratings. It will always get you ratings. But let's be honest. America has been taking children from their parents since her fucking inception. Children were ripped out of slave women's arms. I guess because they were slaves, that shit was justifiable, right? No, it wasn't. It wasn't right then. It's not right now. And quite frankly, I try to stay out of it because it's not my fight at this point. Because my people were brought here illegally. And we were forced to have these generational gaps, and nobody cried for us. So, don't cry for me, Argentina. Black folk need to fall the fuck back. Fall back. Because they're coming for us soon. They're coming for us soon. They just getting the plans together now using the engagements. We were wondering what all these damn things were for. I mean, question, how do you reunite children that can't talk? How do you reunite them with their parents when you have separated them by states? Because remember, during the slave trade, they did the exact same thing. I didn't see Mexican folks screaming for us. Matter of fact, I don't see them screaming for us now. I don't see them. As a matter of fact, what I see is that they're shooting at our children, trying to get us out of neighborhoods. That's what I see. I see a people that's quick to call us niggas and step over the white line. But we're crying for them. I'm not crying. Fall your ass the fuck back. And save your tears for yours. Because guess what's not happening to them in detention centers? They're allowed to live. We out on the street dying. But we're crying for theirs. Man, no. I have no sympathy in my heart. No more. For nobody else. Ain't nobody got sympathy for me. When they show us sympathy, then and only then will I help. Until then, I'm as quiet as they are. And this generational gap ain't nothing new. It is absolutely nothing, because this is what the system knows. It only takes one generation of lost information for every generation thereafter to have to start at 0. 0. They did it to us. They did it to the American Indian. They did it to the Japanese. They did it in Africa. They did it in South America. This is how America has controlled the generations of minorities. And we're going to stop calling ourselves minorities because we're not minor. Instead of calling us humans to make them feel better, this is what they have done to humankind. That's my thing, Kadeem. Why are we crying for people who keep crossing the line? When have they shown up for us? When have they spoke up for us? As a matter of fact, if you ask a Mexican, how they they say this, they don't acknowledge their own black people. One told me I should be glad I should be glad that they freed us. I looked at her stupid for a minute. I was like, for real? Maybe you forgot your own history because America beat your people back into Mexico because you used to have this shit way up to Arkansas, back down to California. Then what? Real white people sent your ass home. Why do you think you speak Spanish now, sweetie? You're not Spaniard because Spain is in Europe. So how are you speaking Spanish? What happened to your native language? Because all they have to do is blonde out their hair and all of a sudden they white. When white people need numbers, they look to the Hispanic population. They look to... You think that last Bush, that woman is white? That woman is not white. Barbara Bush is white. But baby Bush's woman, she ain't white. Here in Texas, we always knew she was Latino. So, first ladies aren't necessarily white women, people. And if she won't advocate for her people, who the hell am I? Because she was a first lady. If the first lady won't advocate for her own people, who the hell am I? But back to this generation gap thing. Y'all know, like I know, that we're dealing with child trafficking, sex trafficking, and all other types of trafficking here in the United States. Now, all of a sudden, they have separated these children from their parents, undocumented. Do you think for 1 second, 1 iota of a second, that these children are not ripe pickings for America's underbelly? Because right here in Texas, we have the largest trafficking, sex trafficking, child trafficking, and human trafficking rings going. And that's about Africans, Latinos, white women. See, y'all don't think white women get trafficked? Yes, they do. White women are loved in the Middle East. They're rare and they're beautiful, and goddamn, them Arabs love them some white women. So don't you think you the only one. The slave trade has happened on both sides the whole time. You just seeing it from your side of the fence. Now they have ripe pickings. And did anybody think that maybe this is why Gaddafi died? Because he was trying to, 1, back money with gold, and 2, try to put a little end and a little dent in this slave trade that was going through his country. One that America herself endorses. Because if she didn't endorse it, why does she advertise it? Why take down a dictator that's keeping one, our money honest, keeping our money honest by backing it with something. And 2, keeping down African trafficking of slaves, or should I say Arab trafficking of slaves. And now his country looks like shit. His country his country is unrecognizable. And it's funny because they destroyed the whole country. They didn't just take Gaddafi out. They destroyed his whole country. And for some reason, we don't get the idea that countries don't wage war on just the leaders. As a matter of fact, countries don't wage war on the leaders at all. Countries wage war on the people. On the people. Army to army, but it's mostly civilians that die during war. But we don't see that. Because my thing is, if 2 leaders have a problem with each other, put on some motherfucking gloves, put their asses in a circle, and let them kill each other. Or, how about this? How about let their sons go kill each other? Why our sons gotta go kill each other, why our poor people have to go to war to kill their poor people? When the people who instigated the motherfucker never go to war. Instigators never go. It's poor people who want to prove their patriotism. Why would you go die for a rich man's problem? One that he instigated. One that you ain't got nothing to do with. And while we talking about war and America and this, that, and the other, I get tired of I'll get tired of white people telling me about patriotism when my uncle came back from war in his uniform and was lynched in that uniform. So please don't talk to my family about patriotism. Because the white men that strung my uncle up, he went over there and risked his life for freedom that he was not allowed to have in his own country, a country that he holds a passport for. And nobody was ever prosecuted for that. But white people want to tell me about patriotism? I don't think you have a leg to stand on when you're talking to black people about patriotism in this country. We have fought on every line. In most cases, died in bigger numbers for something we have never, ever gotten. We can't even guarantee, we're not even guaranteed due process in the street. We are not given the same due process as every other American. But you want to tell us about patriotism. We have given our loyalty to a country that has never been loyal to us. We have given love to a people that has never loved us. We have raised the children of our enemy just to have those children turn around and betray us. And everybody knows it. There is not one group of people in the Americas that want to be treated like us. That's why there's the great silence. Because if we're treated this way and they're allowed to get away with it, they can treat anybody like this and allowed to get away with it. The only difference between us and them is we're not Chinese, so we can't go back home to China. We're not Mexican, so we can't go home to Mexico. We're not Russian, so we can't go home to Russia. We're not Jamaican, so we can't go home to Jamaica. One generation is all it takes to lose the knowledge of self. It is an old trick of the Americas, and obviously it still works. So do not be fooled. Fall your ass back, because they're coming. They're just refining the plan. And if you have exhausted all of your energy by trying to help somebody else like our programming tells us to, because like, fuck that, man. Oh no, we ride for everybody. You better be selective like the fucking Chinese and ride for yourself and yourself only. We need to stop adding everybody to our fucking roster. They don't add us to our roster until they need goddamn numbers or money. And then we're left out in the cold, not to get not to get the spoils of war that everybody else get, even though we helped. So why don't we stop helping? Can't help it. Part of your programming, huh? I know, because we were programmed that way. We were programmed not to help ourselves, to lend our services to everybody else but us. That our thoughts and our efforts should support everybody else but us. Because a slave does everything for everybody else except themselves. A slave will run into a burning house when the master of the house is running out of that motherfucker. A slave is running in, hollering, "We's gonna save the ours house, huh, master?" I'm like, fuck that house. He don't care about it. He don't care. That's why he left the house burning, and you gonna run into it to save it? I'd be standing behind the master with marshmallows, roasting them motherfuckers. Okay, I got my MFR in for the day. But for real, y'all need to fall back. This ain't your fight yet. And when the fight come to you, I hope you ready. But let's be honest, this is not new. This is an old game. America don't have enough tricks in her bag to bring up something new. But why, when this has worked so well? Like, we need to go sit your ass down. Sit your ass down. You won't protest for your own goddamn kids. Sit your ass down. They don't protest for us. Were they out there when our 10-year-olds are being shot in the park? Are they out there with us? Are they, oh, mijo? No. They're not out there because it's not their son. Let's look over in California where come on, Latinos were shooting up black children, burning down black houses to get black people out of their neighborhood. Since when? Where were the black thugs when that shit was happening? Because in their efforts, they're cleaning out whole neighborhoods. We can't get our brothers to patrol a neighborhood, let alone come up with a plan that we gonna take the whole damn thing. We ain't got backbone like that. We don't have backbone to go in and do other people bodily harm. I guess that got lost in that 4-generation gap that we got, because they just got 1-generation gap. The Indians might have got a 2-generation gap, but 1 gen is all it take. We got, and wonder why we fucked up. Don't wonder, but fall your ass back. This is not our fight yet, but it's coming. How about you fix your 4-generation gap? Instead of worried about crying, turn the fucking TV off. America has been making children cry since the fucking beginning. They've been ripping our families apart. They still ripping our families apart wholesale. Why do I care? Oh, Fee, you heartless. Call it what the fuck you want. But if it apply to me, it apply to everybody, because ain't nobody came to our rescue yet. Oh, we're Moors. They ain't came to our rescue yet. Oh, we're Israelites. You can't go to Israel. As a matter of fact, the black folk that went to Israel, they systematically tried to sterilize them. They're still taking Palestine. Israel ain't real. And the people who are considering themselves these new Israelites, the real Israelites are telling you they're Zionists. And yet America, Israel is her biggest charity case. Even though this country has an annual gross product. For a lot of you that don't know what that is, that means that the country itself makes money every year. And yet she still gets American welfare. They talk about black folk fucking off America. They started calling black women welfare queens. Then we found out that white women was getting more than us. Then we found out that white people were fleecing the welfare system for millions of dollars a year. Then we found out that the biggest motherfucker on welfare is a country. But the American black woman is the welfare queen. If you're gonna watch the news, watch the news for that type of information. But back again to these screaming ass children. Gets none of my sympathy. None. There was a protest not far from my house. Did I go? Nope. Because until they stand on the line with me, when my brothers are bleeding in the street, because if I'm not mistaken, even their women right now are starting to call the police on us for no reason. So fuck them. You get what you get. At this point, everybody gets what they get. I ain't helping nobody that ain't helping me. And quite frankly, black folk don't even help no more. So there you have it. How much energy I'm going to conserve. Whole bunch of it. Because you can't get my sympathy when all you have to do is blonde your hair out and automatically become white. And forget that I have a plight too. So where are they when we're in a crisis? I'll tell you where they are. They're punching in their white card. And this is how I feel about people who cross the black line. Y'all can feel about them how you want, but I'm telling you how I feel. And quite frankly, I'm all into telling them to their face now. Welcome to the Terror Dome. Welcome to America. Home of the free. What? Land of the free. Home of the brave. Welcome to your American experience. We tried to tell you this shit ain't milk and fucking honey. And if it is milk and honey, it's sour milk and artificial honey. But no, y'all need to fall the fuck back. This generation gap, they're doing it for a reason. And they're about to do it to us. So you better get to teaching your damn children everything that you think they need to know to survive on their own. Because in a minute, they just gearing up. They just gearing up, because I have to ask you, when that white woman calls on you walking down the street one day and the police show up with their guns drawn and shit because somebody has made a false call on you like they did Tariq Nasheed. Because they got a plan. We don't. And this new plan of die by cop, you think they haven't sat down and think tanked this shit on how they can get away with murdering us for real? And then they've come up with death by proxy by cop? Come on now. When somebody can call from another state, they can call the police on you from another state. And the police show up, not just in bomb gear. Do you know how much that costs to put together that type of team to come to nothing? And they're not prosecuting these people? That means it's a plan. It was a plan. It is a plan. Because I don't know too many police departments that feel like we're going to send this chopper out to this emergency. Do you know how much it costs to get a chopper off the damn ground? The pilot, the gas, the time. And they're not going to prosecute people making false allegations. Why? It's the plan. Because you're supposed to be prosecuted for making false allegations. And not just that, you made a fake call. Yes, Kadeem, thank you. And now it's become a trend. And we're not saying anything about it. We're not saying anything about it. So y'all miss me with this whole cry for the children shit. I'll cry for my kids. I've been crying for mine. And ain't nobody over here crying with me. So fuck it. Welcome to America. Well, if they really cared about their children, they wouldn't. Excuse me. I remember when they taught me that pilgrims came from across the motherfucking ocean to this bitch with their kids to escape. Now all of a sudden, it's bad to escape with your kids. That's a form of child abuse. Oh, really? So what were all the Russians running from? What were all Irish running from? What were the settlers running from? So, fall your behind back. Save your tears for your own. Because when the Latinos get tired of being treated like this, the only thing they have to do is lighten their hair and start to speak better English. And all of a sudden, they're white. You don't have that fucking privilege. You can't play that card. And this is what bites my bitch ass about Latinos. They can jump the fence whenever they feel like it, and they do often and regularly. But I'm going to ask my brothers, where y'all at when these Latinos are blowing our children up? Hard ass soldiers, right? Right. But will allow the Latinos to take over a whole neighborhood while terrorizing our people out of it. Where are gangsters at? That's why I love Haitians and Jamaicans. Haitians ain't taking that shit. You ain't playing with their kids. They care enough about theirs that there's gonna be some consequences and some motherfucking repercussions. We need to do the one thing we fucking refuse to do. The one thing we haven't done to solve this problem. And it ain't paperwork. But I'm done on this rant. I won't cry one goddamn tear. Not one. Not one. Not one when they're given due process. When you're given due process, I will not cry one fucking tear for you. Because we have children out here around America that are black, that are not given due process, but are given a coffin. And a mother has to plan a funeral. Because we weren't given due process. And we were born in this motherfucker. So while your children are one being separated, but detained and given due process, I have to tell you that as an American citizen, I have to explain to my black son before he walks out the door that he will not be afforded that luxury by the police, who are only supposed to detain. And he will probably not be read his Miranda rights before he is shot in the street. And I have to fucking plan a funeral. So enjoy your due process. Because as American citizens, we don't get that luxury. This is FundiFe, just telling the fucking truth. Welcome to the Terror Dome, otherwise known as the United States of America, where families have been separated from the beginning for the benefit of her labor force, her underground and her underbelly. Salam, shalom, hotep. This is FundiFe, and I always got my ear to the street, my ear to the street, my ear to the street. For those of you who have not joined U University, please do so. We're going to be having classes coming over there. And if you're not a part of U University, you will not get these lives. You will not get these lives. So please, 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 please join U University. For those of you who know some people in here, go ahead and add them to U University, because we'll be doing some classes out of there. It won't be on my live. It will be strictly from U University. Thank you guys for everything that you've done. Thank you. For those of you who have asked, the Why Not t-shirt is still on sale. So you can still get that, and it's available. The Just Add Water t-shirt is still available as well. We're still putting in gardens. I know I haven't put any up, but they asked me not to because they wanted to protect their own identities, and I understand that. I have no problems with that, but we're still putting in gardens. We are still putting in gardens. So we still need you guys to bless us with donations and buy the t-shirts, because the t-shirt profit does go to building the gardens. We love you guys. Mwah. Be good to yourself. Go get you some water. Salam, shalom, hotep, peace and blessings. And hey, make sure you come back home tonight and you be good to you. Love y'all. Peace.